She can sing. The whole world can see. So I can give that.
I can do it. I can do it. I'm getting this
Why did you change?
because you need me.
No,
No, for this.
no, he wants to handle the text side. You can take the turtle and
Oh, you want
सुनो शुरू कर बेटा
मुझे बात करनी है सब लोग कर रहे हैं
Looks fine. Hallelujah. Thank you everyone for coming. Mari kata organize activity and come together. Heal.
Ecstatic.
Happy after chanting. It feels the spiritual energy. It feels you can feel it, isn't it? Before chanting, after chanting, how you feel? It's the difference. No? It's real. Spiritual life is real. It's not imagination. No? So like some people think. No. You can experience it. You can live it, and can change your life for better. Not for worse, for better. All right, so we continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam. This morning we're reading about Bharat Maharaj, how he became a deer, his attachment of the deer. Now we continue. Okay. What happened after Bharat Maharaj became deer? He did not forget his past life. By the mercy of the Lord, because the Lord is very kind to his pure. Actually, Bharat Maharaj was a pure. But a little bit an attention, a little attachment to the deer. You have to think about the deer. Because that's what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. Jam jam apis param bhavam keshatyante kalivaram tam tam nivayam bhavita. So Krishna's word can be false. Even if pure devotee, if you think something else at the time of death, he has to take this kind of body. So that's what happened to Bharat Maharaj. But because he was pure devotee, even in the body of the deer, Krishna reminded him of his past life as a devotee. So even in the deer body was going to sit down with the sages, hear them, Harikatha speaking, take back and holy. Avoid all of the peers who are interested in self-gratification. He would eat dry grass to make penance, austerity, like that. And when he quit his body as a deer, he chanted prayers to, next time he was born in the Brahmin family. He became Jadavara. Now as Jadavara, he remembered his past life as a deer and as Maharaj Bharat. So to avoid distraction from anybody, he played the donkey, the fool. His father was trying to teach him to chant Gayatri, but not move his finger properly. Purposely, he was doing. So his father thought this boy, is retarded or something. So he put him at night to take care of the fields at night. Some fields, crops, So the father put him. Take care at least of that, be useful for something. But actually, Dajalavada was fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. A great sage, great devotee. But he was playing like that, just people leave him alone, bother him. Like this one pastime, one great devotee also. But you can see people bothering him all day to ask blessings, give me blessings, give me blessings. So he planned something to people not to disturb him, this majestic people. So he put some bone fish at the enter of his hut oh, he's eating fish, now it's fallen. We don't come here again. He put some young girl to sweep the floor in front of his house. Oh, look, he has a. So they want me to have us relief of that. Anyway, so Yadavarata played around like that. And one night he was taking care of the field at night, and some dacoits they were looking for a dumb man. They captured, and he escaped, and they were worshippers of Kali Mata. So they wanted to sacrifice, human sacrifice, to Mother Kali. Prabhupada said even nowadays there's such human sacrifice. Some people, even witches are there. They take a branch and they can fly with it. In Venezuela, we have a saying, I don't believe in witches, but if they fly, they can fly. So that means they're real. Anyway, so this Dakota were looking for that escaped man. But they saw Janavara all spaced out. They thought, oh, he can be a bomb also, animal-like human. So they captured him, they threw him away from him. They captured him, took him to their cave where they have a deity of Kali. And they dressed him up, perfumed him, put garland, everything, chopped the head. So their priest, the priest was, managing everything. But Goddess Kali, being a devotee of the Lord, she could not tolerate that a pure devotee was going to be killed in front of her. She could not tolerate that. So she broke the deity, came out of the deity. And she didn't come alone. She came with the associate, like chassis, And they were chopping the heads of the demons, And they were playing ball with the heads. Not only that, they were drinking blood from the trunk, the headless trunk. Very ghastly scene, very. So Jalavarata was able to escape from that place, So of course, Kali Mata, she kills only demons. She doesn't kill innocent or good people, only big demons she kills. This fierce, aspect of Durga Mata. So in that way, Jalavarata was able to escape from there. And then one day he was sitting down under the palm tree, meditating on the Lord, in full happiness, Krishna consciousness. And one king was passing, King Rahula was passing through there with the palanquin. And one of the carrier heard this could not carry anymore. So they were looking for replacement. And they saw the Bharat sitting there. Oh, he looks strong enough. He should start escaping. So they called him, put him to. But he didn't protest. He could have said, no. I'm joking, what are you doing? No, he didn't say anything. He didn't protest. Okay. It was carried. But after walking for a little while, the king became very disturbed because the palanquin was going right, left, stopping suddenly, going faster, going slower. So he stopped. What's going on here? He's just chastising all the carrier. And all of them pointed to Jalavarata as the new guy. And what was happening is that Jalavarata didn't want to step on the ants on the road. So that's why he was trying to avoid it by going right, left, stopping, But because he was Krishna conscious, he didn't want to harm even the ant. But the other carriers were in the mode of ignorance. They didn't care to kill the ants. No? But he did care. So that's why he was doing that. So the king chastised him very strongly. And then Jalavarata started preaching to him. Actually, you are not king, I'm not your servant, we are all servants of God. We are eternal soul. And king realized this is a sage, not an ordinary carrier. So he stopped and started listening to me. And this is what we're going to be now. The conversation between Maharaj Rahugana and Jalavarata. So,
Verse
12.
chapter 12.
chapter 12.
5.5.
5 to 12.
5, 12, 12.
5, 12, 12.
We start.
Okay, we start from there. Very good. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Namo Vedic Saraswati Vyasam Jayam Vidaye Nastapraye Shabadreshu Yam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Sloke Bhagavati Nastiti. So we are reading from 5th canto, chapter 12, text 12. Rahuganai tapasanayati na chetyayaya nirvapana grihatva Chandasanaiva jalagni suryair Vinama atpadarajo vishekam. My dear King Rahogan, unless one has the opportunity to smear his entire body with the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees, one cannot realize the absolute truth. One cannot realize the absolute truth simply by observing celibacy, brahmacharya, strictly following the rules and regulations of householder life, leaving home as a vanaprastha, accepting sannyas, or undergoing severe penances in winter by keeping oneself submerged in water or surrounding oneself in summer by fire and the scorching heat of the sun. There are many other processes to understand the absolute truth, but the absolute truth is only revealed to one who has attained the mercy of a great devotee. Actual knowledge of transcendental bliss can be bestowed upon anyone by a pure devotee. One cannot attain the perfection of spiritual life simply by following the direction of the Vedas. One has to approach a pure devotee. By the grace of such a devotee, one can understand the absolute truth, Krishna, and one's relationship with him. A materialistic person sometimes thinks that simply by executing pious activities and remaining at home, one can understand the absolute truth. That is denied in this verse. Nor can one understand the absolute truth simply by observing the rules and regulations of brahmacharya. One only has to serve the pure devotee. That will help one understand the absolute truth without fail. So this is very important instruction by Bharat in Rahul. Is that Krishna is not pleased just by doing great tapasya, brahmacharya, penances, fasting, austerities, all these things. The winter submerged to the water to the neck all night in the lake, or in the summer surrounded by fire. I've seen yogis doing that. I went to many times to Babylon, and I've seen they sit down surrounded by fire. I have seen others. I was the devotees were taking bath in the Ganga. It was very icy, cold water. And we saw one yogi tied a rope around his waist with a rope to get inside the wall. So, goodbye, cruel world, you know. But no, he was under the water like for half an hour, and then came out. Wow, powerful yogi. You know? Prabhupada said went to Kumbh Mela many times preaching, you know, and he spoke with some of those yogis. And he told the devotees, this yogi I spoke with is 300 years old. The other one is 400 years. The devotee said, how is that possible for a human being to live? He said there is a pranayama yoga. By controlling how much time you breathe, you can prolong your life. It's a technique only yogis know. So, I mean to say, I met one devotee, ISKCON devotee in the Dara. He told me before he joined ISKCON, he had a yogi guru, and his guru lived 200 years in the Dara. So, such things are there. But devotees are not interested in prolonging their lives. They leave it up to Krishna. They know if I surrender to Krishna this life to devotional service, doesn't matter when I die, Krishna will take me with him, give me another opportunity to continue serving him, whatever he wants me to be. So the devotees don't worry about prolonging their life, like yogis, you know. Of course, we should have a healthy life, a normal life, so we can live enough years to serve Krishna. That is true. At least up to 80, 90 years, like that. So there is Prabhupada tells a story about such yogis, you know, that in those Kumbh Melas, you know, 1 million people go, you know? And some kind of women, they go to those Kumbh Mela with the idea to have a son from a yogi. They think, oh, it's a very prestigious to have the son of a great yogi, you know. So they go there to seduce some yogi. But some materialistic men, they know that, so they disguise themselves as the yogis to seduce those women. So instead of having a son from a yogi, having a son from a crazy guy. So that's the word of the cheaters and the cheated. Well, Prabhupada another story of a yogi. Once a rich man challenged a yogi. He told him, this is a winter time. Can you stand all night in the lake, very icy cold lake, up to the neck, all night? Yes, I can. What you will give me, I will give you this much reward, money for doing that. But I will put a servant to witness that you are not moving. Yes, of course, he agreed. So the yogi was all night there in the water up to the neck. He didn't get disturbed or anything. So next day, he went to the rich man asking for this, you know, reward. That's what the agreement. But the rich man was stingy. He didn't want to give the money. So he made an excuse. He said, no. Nearby you, there was a lamp in the temple. So you got the heat from that lamp. You're cheating. I can't give you all the money. Sorry. So Yogi was very upset, you know, that he didn't fulfill his promise. So his servant, he was also upset that my master didn't fulfill his promise, that is not good, you know. So the master told his servant, okay, cook fast me, I have to eat, then we go in trouble, we have to trouble, you know. So the time for lunch came and the son was not there, so he asked the servant, what's going on? He went to see, are you finished cooking? He saw he had the pots, and beneath the pot, instead of fire, he had a what do you call that?
Wait, just a candle.
What do you call a
Incense?
No.
Yeah, flame.
No. What when the lights goes off?
Candle.
Candle. Yeah, the candle for cooking. And the master said, "How can you cook with a candle?" The man said, "Okay, if Yogi can heat himself with a lamp far away, why I can't cook with a candle?" Then rich man realized this mistake. The servant was teaching him a lesson. You know. He was unfair because he was young, so he fulfilled this promise. You know. So anyway, the whole idea is that we can't please Krishna by just doing this kind of tapasya like that. It's not enough. One has to take shelter of a pure devotee. That's the idea. And this is metaphorical to swear one's body with the dust of the great devotee. It's not that you go and collect it. You follow the teachings. You follow the, no? The rules that the pure devotee is giving to you to follow, then that's spreading yourself with the dust of his feet. That's the teaching. At the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, when he started the Sankirtan movement, he did it first with closed doors, closed windows, at the house of Srivas Thakur. And no outside person will be allowed, only Premi Bhaktas. He wanted to start first, experience the full bliss of Sankirtan with pure devotees. Then give to everyone, but first start like that. So one night during the Kirtan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Srivas Thakur, I don't feel the same ecstasy. I think somebody is hiding here who should not be here. So Srivas Thakur was looking all over the house, and he found his mother-in-law hiding inside the basket, looking at the holes. Another time, the brahmachari came to Srivas Thakur and asked him, please allow me to see the dancing of Nityananda and of Chaitanya. Please, please. All right, you are a nice brahmachari, you are very strict. You only eat fruit and milk. So you can hide behind the curtain, you can witness. So the brahmachari was very happy to see the dancing, but Lord Chaitanya stopped the kirtan house. He called him out and preached to him, said, don't think just by being good brahmachari is enough to get Krishna's mercy. No, you need to take shelter of pure devotee. You need to follow the instruction of pure devotee. You need to chant the holy name and serve the Vaishnavas. Then you can achieve the Lord's mercy. Just by being good brahmachari, eating only fruit is not enough. It's good, but not enough. So humbly he bowed his head and accepted, yes, I'm very glad because I'm good brahmachari and like that. So the Lord saw his change of heart, he allowed him. He stayed. If there is a change of heart, the Lord is Baba Grahi Janardana. He knows the heart of every person, every living being. And if somebody approaches him, he knows the intention the person is approaching. So he knows everything. We can't cheat the Lord. We cheat ourselves. So this is very important instruction here. Bharat is instructing people how to say. Means you have to accept good. That's the bona fide good. Coming from the simple succession. Then you can become spiritually advanced. That's the thing. Follow the instruction. You may follow, you might set good, but if you don't follow the instruction, what the guru can do for you? You can't force you. So you have to put, it's not enough just to have a good guru, you have to become a good disciple also. In order to make advancement. Prabhupada said, I can give you best instruction, if you don't follow it, what can I do? So it's very important. Prabhupada's initiation means you make up your mind, I want to follow the rules, I want to follow the principles. I'm going to chant the scribed number of rounds. That's the real initiation process. That you made up your mind what to do. They have a saying, do or die, isn't it? When they were fighting for the temple of Lord Ramchandra, there were many yogis, sadhus there fighting to do that. Now it's a reality.
Yeah,
Now it's happening. So they have the slogan, do or die. So in the same way, we have to be like determined like that. Do or die in that thing. To become sincere devotees, real devotees. So let's continue reading. Text 13. Yatrottama shloka guna nuvada. Prastuyate Gramya Kata Vigata. Shivyamano Tidam Shor Tim Satim Yakati Vasudeve. Who are the pure devotees mentioned here? In an assembly of pure devotees, there is no question of discussing material subjects like politics and sociology. In an assembly of pure devotees, there is discussion only of the qualities, forms, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is praised and worshipped with full attention, and the association of pure devotees, by constantly hearing such topics respectfully, even a person who wants to merge into the existence of the absolute truth abandons this idea and gradually becomes attached to the service of Vasudeva. Purpose. The symptoms of pure devotees are described in this verse. The pure devotee is never interested in material topics. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has strictly prohibited his devotee to talk about worldly matters. Gramya Varta, Nakahibe. One should not indulge in talking unnecessarily about news of the material world. One should not waste time in this way. This is a very important feature in the life of a devotee. A devotee has no other ambition than to serve Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God. This Krishna consciousness movement was started to engage people 24 hours daily in the service of the Lord and His glorification. The students in this institution engage in the cultivation of Krishna consciousness from 5 in the morning to 10 at night. They actually have no opportunity to waste their time unnecessarily by discussing politics, sociology, and current events. This will go their own way. A pure devotee is concerned only with serving Krishna positively and seriously. So, of course, Prabhupada, when the movement started, the Krishna consciousness movement in the West, everybody to become devotee, absolutely necessary to live in that. Was no question of living outside. If somebody was living outside, he's a minor. Only one that live in the temple is surrender. That was before, when everything started. There was no congregation, nothing like that. Like now. Now the movement is more congregational. Have increased all over the world in this way. But the beginning was very austere. Very austere. When I joined the temple, it was the first temple of South America. And the movement was only like a year old, the country. So no devotee was going to dhoti or sari or whatever. We don't even have tilak. We have to use a shoe polisher called Griffin and white as tilak. We don't have even a mattress or pillow or nothing like bed sheet, nothing like that. We were using what you call this mat yoga.
Yoga?
No, not yoga.
Strong.
A straw mat. We use a straw mat, and the arm was the pillow. You know. We were living like yogis at that time. We were all young, or our 20s. I was 21, and some showers were outside because there were only one bathroom. It's not enough for 20, 30 people. So outside also, and we didn't have a toothpaste. The temple commander had the toothpaste, so we have to make line, and he will give us a little bit in the finger like this. So a little more. Maybe advertisement. We don't need so much. We don't need to put it. Next one. Imagine, that's such an austere life, like that. And all day, some cooking, some worship the deity, or go out distributing books all day. We first when I joined, we go on Harinam 4, 5, 6 hours a day, every day. distribute some magazine, like that to the people, some books, and chanting all day. Huh? Like that. It was very nice actually, very like full time, there's no time for anything else. So and that way, people will come Sunday feast. They will come, many people will come. Because they wanted to know what's about, out of curiosity, so how. And they will leave the temple very happy. But I remember some people will ask, what you put in the food that after eating this food one feel happy? You must put something strange in that food. I said, yeah, we put bhakti, we put love. We offer the love. Like that. I remember I was a yogi, I was practicing hatha yoga. I was sometimes doing fast for 3 days, drinking only water, coconut water. And when I saw the devotees Sunday feast, they think, more than here, guys, what kind of yogis are this? They too much. But then after taking prasad, they will go out to the temple and dance like wild man, So after some time also, fell in the trap, eating nothing with prasad. Especially Hara. So what I will do, I will fast for 2-3 days, then go on Sunday feast with the Lord. Like an austerity. And then dancing the kirtan for 1 hour, don't stop, chanting, dancing. So naturally, people became attracted because they saw that what they really happy. These people, they look really happy. What they do, so happy. Bright faces, smiling faces, like that. Even once Prabhupada was traveling in the airport, and one Christian priest approached him. He said, why your disciples, they look so brilliant, bright faces? What you give them? So even they acknowledge, before they didn't want to come to church, anything. Now they are mad after God. How is this possible? Because Krishna consciousness is a blissful process. Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya brought the process, Kevala Ananda Kanda, simply blissful. Chanting, dancing, feasting, hearing about Krishna. It's very blissful process. So he, the Bharat Maharaj, telling the king that one should know what the devotees do. They come together and glorify the Lord. Satatam kirtayanto. Krishna says in Parvati, pure devotee, I was singing my glories. I was enlivening each other, discussing about me. So that's the whole idea. Do you know when the devotees fell in love with Krishna? There is a specific moment that they actually, all of them, fell in love with Krishna. And that happened after the Kaliya Mardana Lila. When Krishna conquered Kaliya, danced on his flute, played the flute, and danced, all the gopis fell completely in love with Krishna. So beautiful, so expert in dancing and conquering this huge demon, Kaliya. Well, actually became devotee. In his past life, Kaliya was actually a rishi, sage. Mentioned in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana that Kaliya in his past life, he went to the Malaya hill to sit down, to penance, to austerities, meditation on the Lord. He was a Vishnu Bhakta. And he went to the ashram of another yogi to meditate there. But another yogi became upset. Why are you coming to my ashram? There are so many places to go, you only come here. So this is the property of Lord Vishnu. Now you're saying it's your property. How is that possible? They discuss like that, they have argument. And so the rishi who came, he cursed, you are hissing like a snake, you become snake. They cursed each other. And the other God, for little mistake, you curse me so heavy. Now I also curse you, become a crow. They cursed each other. But after doing that, they became very upset that we did such a thing. They felt very regretful that they cursing each other should have not done. Then Lord Vishnu came to pacify them. You are like my two arms, you are my devotees. Don't worry, I will give you protection. So he told one of the rishi, although you become serpent, I will dance on your heads. And I will give you my bhakti for you. And the other says, told him, although you become a crow, you will not lose your knowledge. You keep your transcendental knowledge. So he was associated with Lord Ramchandra and his devotees. And the other sage became Kaliya. So when the gopis saw this beautiful dancing of the Lord on Kaliya's flute and his expertise in playing the flute and his beauty and conquering this giant, all of them fell in love. They didn't tell each other. They thought, each one of them thought, oh, I'm only in love with Krishna. But then their marriage was already arranged. So they were very, very, very morose, very sad that they have to marry some other man after they are in love with Krishna. So they decided to commit suicide. All of them. They went very early in the morning to Jamuna. They were covered with the veil. But each one of them thought only she was in love with Krishna. But suddenly they saw each other, thousands of gopis there. And they talked to each other. Why are you here? Well, I'm in love with Krishna. I'm also in love with Krishna. You're also in love. All of them, opened their heart to each other. Then they realized that they came for the same purpose, to give up their life, because they didn't want it to be touched by any other man but Krishna. So then Yamuna Devi came out of the river to each and every gopi, expanded herself for each and every gopi, and she pacified each and every gopi. No, don't do that. I promise you, you will be protected. Only Krishna will be able to touch you, nobody else. And then Yogamaya came. What is your name in Vrindavan? Purnamasi came, and she also promised them, by my power, I will create an illusion, Yogamaya, that even your husband will not be able to touch you. No one will be able to. So they became pacified. Don't give up your life. So that was the, how it happened. And then many things wonderful happened with Dava. Actually, when the Brahma Vimohan Lila happened, Brahma Dev, he stole the cowherd boys, the calves. His intention was to test Krishna's power, because he was bewildered by Krishna's power, that Krishna was acting like a small boy eating yogurt and fruit. And sometimes when we defeat him, he had to carry them on his shoulders. So Brahma Dev became bewildered. Is the same Lord that I am my father, Lord Vishnu? I have to test to see if it's true. So when he stole all the cowherd boy and calves, his intention was to take them to Brahma. But Krishna, being omniscient, he knows everything. He took the shape of Brahma right of Brahmalok before him. And he told the doorkeepers, there is a false Brahma around. If he comes here, don't allow him inside my planet. I'm the only Brahma. Okay, so the real Brahma could not enter his planet. He was kicked out. So I had to come back to Earth. And that round trip from Earth to Brahmalok and back, 1 year happened on this planet. So he went with the boys and calves. They were sleeping. Put them in a cave. He didn't harm them, just put them to sleep. Put them in a cave and went to see what Krishna is all for a full year. And he was surprised to see all the same boys and calves dead. I'm the only creator in this universe. Who created these boys and calves? Like that. Then he went to the cave, opened the cave. They were the same. So since you have 8 eyes, 4 faces, he was with 2 eyes looking at the cave, 2 eyes looking at pasturing ground, and this simultaneously were there. So Brahma understood, I am defeated. Krishna's power is much greater than mine. So Krishna, for a full year, nobody noticed any difference because Krishna did perfectly the part of any boy. Mother knows their child. They know what he likes, doesn't like, how he behave, how he speak, how he smile, everything. But Krishna did it so perfectly, nobody noticed. But one amazing thing happened. All the mothers of Vrindavan thought to themselves, of course, we love our children very much, but we love Krishna even more than our own children. But now, how surprising it is that we love our children the same as we love Krishna. That's very surprising. We don't understand why. Well, how this happened? Because they're son of Krishna. The same thing happened with the cows and the cats. Balaram was standing over the hill. Suddenly, the cow passed next to him like great speed, loose, flashing, very still, going downward, very high speed. Why? Because her calf was there. It was Krishna's expansion. So maybe she was licking the body with him. The cow was grown up, he was eating grass already. So the cow began to separate them. And they saw their children, Krishna's expansion, so they forgot everything. They went to hug and swear the head of the children, cry, happiness. But I was witnessing all this, so much love. I haven't never seen so much. I mean, there is always love, but this is more than usual. So why Bharat didn't know? Because the day that happened, Brahma Vimohan Leela, was Balaram's birthday. And his father Nanda Maharaj said, you don't have to go to work today. It's your birthday. Stay at home. So I didn't know about it. By Krishna's power, I didn't know about it. So, but at that time, Krishna told his parents, all these young boys, they are teenagers almost, let them get married to all these gopis, it would be nice. So the big yagya, thousands of gopas and gopis got married. Actually was Krishna. So Krishna fulfilled their desire to be married to him. So Krishna fulfilled all desires of his devotees. So we have to be careful what we desire. I remember some years ago, I was visiting a temple in Salvador, country in Salvador. The devotee took me to the park early in the morning for Japa. So I asked them, please, during Japa, no question, no conversation, just Japa. Try to concentrate. When we go back temple for the class, you can ask all questions you want, but please now, no. Or they say, okay, of course. I remember chanting, after walking like for half hour, 40 minutes, I was able to concentrate very nicely by chanting. I only had one thought. Krishna, while chanting, I also can remember your pastime would be very nice. That's the only thought I had. And suddenly, to my great surprise, Krishna pastime started flowing in my mind, one after the other, one after the other. I wasn't doing any effort or trying, just they came by themselves, by their own sweet way. And one after the other, like that. And one of the pastime I didn't even know. I had to search it afterward and can't find it. So I thought, wow, Krishna fulfilled all spiritual desires. Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yogidanam. We are very eternal. He is the supreme eternal. We are very conscious living. He is the supreme conscious living. Although He is one, we are many. It's fulfilling the desires of everyone. So one has to be careful one asked for Krishna. Remember the story of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj worshipped the Lord with the desire to have a greater kingdom than Lord Brahma, his grandfather. And although the Lord appeared to him, he became a disciple of Narad Muni, and he was following his instruction. He was chanting this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and doing penance austerities like that. And finally, he had darshan of the Lord. And when he saw the Lord, he didn't know what to say. He child. So the Lord touched his head with his conscience, and he started off a beautiful prayer. One of the prayers said, Swami Kritarto Swing Balam Maya, because the Lord offered me blessing, say, my Lord, just by having your darshan, I am completely satisfied. I don't want anything. Yeah. So that's the beauty of Krishna consciousness. One may have many material desires at the beginning, but if one keeps practicing, eventually one will forget the material desire and only have Krishna in his life. Eventually, it takes a gradual process. No? We all know. Nothing artificial should be done. It comes naturally. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartameka Purusha Purana Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sharidam Hari Kripam Vidya Samaham Sarvabhakacharya of many beautiful prayers to Lord Chaitanya. You are the same Lord in the new forms. And you came to teach us devotional service accompanied by Vairagya Vidya, knowledge and detachment. So knowledge and detachment, Vairagya Vidya, are subservient to Bhakti. When they come by the practice of Bhakti, they're permanent, they're real. But if you try to get them without Bhakti, they're not permanent. They come and go. You know? I remember when we were doing traveling Sankirtan in South America, we went some city, there's many students, big university, and some friend allowed us to stay in one home next to a river. So before Mangalati, we go to the river, full of bucket with icy water. Hare! Take shower. I get ready for Mangalati at 3:30 in the morning. 4 in the morning. Sometimes we didn't have money to pay hotel. We would sleep in the van or the beach, you know. I go to the gas station, put the gamcha on, and when the money take the, what do you call the hose, and you know, very hard pressure, you know. We did a lot of austerities at the beginning of the book. You can't imagine. I don't know if you become devout if you have to do all these things. Anyway, so we met one guru, so-called guru. He was he had his own followers and everything. He was considered, self-realized person. He would dress up with the tunic, like that. And he told us he's very renounced. Then his followers started coming to Mangalarti. And he was happy. That's nice, you're coming, waking up early. You used to sleep very late now because of your association. Now that's very nice. But we noticed some of they were smoking ganja. So we asked the guru, do you also smoke ganja? He said, no. I don't smoke ganja. I only lighten up and bless the ganja. That was fine. That's blessing from there. So crazy. He said, I'm very renounced. I have a very fancy car. I threw it from a cliff. I renounce it. I thought you should have given to us. We use for Sankirtan. Anyway, next year I saw the same man in the mall with suit and tie, with I approached him, what happened to you, Jesus? So no, this is my pastime now. I'm a Christian. The good thing didn't work. So my God. So not real bhakti can bring real detachment. Only temporary thing. Sometimes they keep it and they leave it after some time. But bhakti is, the outcome of bhakti is natural knowledge and detachment from material sense gratification. So this is what Bharat in the king, that you have to practice bhakti under the guidance of bona fide guru. Then you can become advanced. We are going to read until one verse.
15.
Okay. I'm gonna read 14 now. 15. Okay. Let's read the 14. Aham Pura Maratona Marajam Vimukta Drishta Shruta Sangha Bandha Aladhanam Bhagavata Ihamanu Pridupam Priya Sankatata In the previous birth, I was known as Maharaj Bharat. I attained perfection by becoming completely detached from material activities through direct experience. And through indirect experience, I received understanding from the Vedas. I was fully engaged in the service of the Lord, but due to my misfortune, I became very affectionate to a small deer, so much so that I neglected my spiritual duties. Due to my deep affection for the deer, in my next life, I had to accept the body of the deer. The incident herein described is very significant. In the previous verse, it stated, Vina Mahatpada Rajo Vishekam. One cannot attain perfection without spreading the dust from the lotus feet of an exalted devotee on his head. If one always follows the order of the spiritual master, there is no question of falling down. As soon as a foolish disciple tries to overtake the spiritual master and become ambitious to occupy his post, he immediately falls down. Yasya prasada, Bhagavat prasada, Yasya prasada, Bhakti Topi. If the spiritual master is considered an ordinary man, the disciple surely loses his chance to advance further. Despite a very rigid life of devotional service, Bharat Maharaj did not consult the spiritual master when he became overly attached to the deer. Consequently, he became strongly attached to the deer, and forgetting his spiritual routine, he fell down. So this is very important instruction here, that if he consulted the Guru when he had this problem of attachment to the deer, the Guru cannot told him, distance yourself from the deer, don't become overly attached, not good for your spiritual life. He could have saved himself. But he didn't do that. That's why this happened to me. That means when you're having trouble in your spiritual life, it's good to find counseling, spiritual counseling, from Guru and Vaishnavas. Not to keep it to yourself. Open your heart to somebody who you trust, of course. Not that anyone. You tell your problem next day, it's appearing on Facebook. No, that kind of person. You must trustworthy. They will be confidential, and they will try to help. We should look for help when we are in need of it. Naturally, problems may come in our spiritual life, but that's natural. It's part of our purification. It's part of our growth. But then we have to seek advice, seek help. Like that. It's very important thing. Once the devotee having difficulty in spiritual life, Prabhupada said, let him come and stay with me sometime. So that's important, And Prabhupada said the most important thing in spiritual life is sincerity. If we are sincere and we seek help, Krishna will provide the help we need. Undoubtedly. Even if somebody falls down, if he sincerely regret, Krishna will forgive. Krishna will help him rise again. But since Bharat Maharaj, it's amazing, he remembered his past life. He's telling him, I remember my past life. Sometimes, mostly, nobody remembers past life. The majority don't remember. Very few rare cases happen sometimes. Even there are cases of small children who spontaneously remember their past life, even non-devotees. Why this happened? Because Krishna wants to prove to the world that reincarnation is real. So he used people who are not even devotees or don't believe in reincarnation, and these things happen to them. So Krishna teaching the world is not fantasy, it's real. Reincarnation is real. Hare Krishna are correct. So it's very interesting. Once one devotee in the 1986, that was the 500th anniversary of Lord Chaitanya appearance, via many devotees came. And I went also there, made friends with some devotees. One of the devotees was temple president in London, Bhagavata Shrine. We made friendship. He invited me to accompany him to Jaipur, wanted to see one very good astrologer. I said, and then we go down. Okay, we go down afterwards. So we're there, and this astrologer, I do also your chart if you want. I said, I didn't come for that purpose. I just came with my friend. But my friends, no, we also do it. I'll pay for it. Don't worry. Do it. He said, but I don't even know the exact timing of my birth. I know the day, but because I was born at home, not hospital, so they didn't give exact timing. They don't know. He said, don't worry. This is such good astrologer. He will do it. So he asked me a few questions like that. I mean, the devotee should not worry much about astrology, about the future. It depends on Krishna. I sent the other day for Prabhupada saying. But Prabhupada, even his parents, when he was born, brought astrologer to see, and the astrologer predicted this boy, when he's 17 years old, he will go over the seas and open 100-day temple. Came out through. So there are some very good astrologers sometimes, you know. For birth, when the child is born, it's good to do it. When they are gonna get married, there's also, you know, it's material, it's not spiritual, but it's can help, you know. Anyway, he did ask me a few questions, things like that. He made a few charts. And then he suddenly started asking, do you have two brothers, two sisters? Yes. Do you travel by boat at the age of 2? Overseas? Yes. This is your chart. I mean, I hope he can do. I never told him those things. You know? Then he told me I have this book, Legal Samhita. If the star you were born under is there, I can tell you who was your past life. You want to know? Well, yes. Who doesn't want? Anyway, next day I came back. He told me, yes, I found it. The star, he said, in the past life, he was yogi. He was born near the Ganga River. And he was given the pilgrims the Ganga jar. He was giving them Ganga jar, the bottles. Take home. Like that. They will give you some donation. Like that. And he said, but some Naga Babas came one day and they offered you ganja and you pay for it. So we followed you. Prabhupada said, some of my disciples are Gyanis, previously were Gyanis or yogis. It's a fact when I came to Krishna Kala, I felt immediate attraction, you know, to chant the holy name, immediate attraction. I was like that. In a few days, I was chanting 16 rounds. The mother of 1-2 weeks, 16 rounds. And for principle, I was following before even coming to the movement. While I was practicing yoga, I was gave up all these things. So as the devotees, what do I have to do to join the temple? So well, you have to follow these 4 rules. I almost have 2 years following. Then what are you doing outside? Come here. Yes. Anyway, so and I tell you, and I had confirmation what astrology said about my past life. I had a confirmation. Amazing. You want to hear the story?
Yes.
It happened in South America. One day, my very good friend, Javi Das, he's a very famous musician, South America. His name is Ilan Chester's artistic name. He got 2 Grammy award, Latin award, 2 Grammys. Famous name. And he was interviewed on TV. That's in the 1990s, you know, by one lady who was a parapsychologist, you know, metaphysics into that. She had her own TV program. She interviewed him. And she became very interested in the philosophy. So having my good friend called me to the temple, I was living in the temple. And he asked me if I can give this lady the book Science of Self-Realization. I said, yes, of course. And he gave me the address, phone number. I made an appointment. Another devotee came along with me. We went there. And as soon as we entered the house, a big mansion, he had like a school there teaching the students about metaphysics and, things like that, parapsychology, about the mental, whatever. So when we entered the porch, there were some young people around, the students. One couple was there, and the girl was staring at me too much, like she will not take her eyes out of me. So the devotee with me asked me, you know her? I said, I never seen her. So why she's gazing at you? I said, I don't know, maybe she saw me on TV or something. Anyway, because we used to go to TV a lot. So let's ask her if she knows me from someone. We were walking toward them to enter the house. And when I was few feet away from them, the girl fainted. She fainted and started trembling and talking, like he was in a trance. She went into a trance kind of thing, So they helped her to a room. They put her there in the room. And the boyfriend was with her, shook hand with me, say, I'm a mentalist. When I touch your hand, I feel very strong energy. I think this happened because of you. I said, I'm very sorry. He said, no, it's not your fault. It just happened. Okay. They said, we say, we need to talk about it. Yes, of course, let me give the book to the lady and talk afterward. So I went up, gave the lady the nice talk, invited her to the temple. She was very nice, very interested. And after like half an hour or so came down, the girl almost started to recover. So the boy professed, I think we better visit you in the temple to have conversation about what happened. I say, yes, here is the car, the temple address. Come, please. After a few days, they came, both of them. And we talked privately in the office. So the girl said what happened. She said that when she saw me enter the house, she had very strong feeling that she knows me from somewhere else, but she didn't know from where. She never seen me before in her life, first time. But she had this strong feeling that I know this person. And that feeling became stronger the more I approached them. And she said, when I was very close, the feeling was so strong, they call it deja vu. She fainted, and she saw herself. When she lost consciousness, she lost herself wrapped in the cloth, I guess, sorry, and in front of the big temple. And I was a river nearby, and she saw me coming with beard and long hair, dressed in yellow and orange, but different face, but she knew it was me. I was coming with other people dressed like me, in orange like that. And I was like a spiritual counselor to her. She would ask for advice from time to time, like that. So she asked me, why these things happen to me? Confused, I don't understand. The first time something like that happened to me in my life. So what is the reason? Then I told her what the astrologers told me, who I was in past life. Said, now you confirm what the astrologers said. And these things happen to you because God, Krishna, wants you to remember your spiritual life from past life so you can continue in this life. So it's very important. There's nothing happened accidentally. God wants you to remember that you was a devotee in your past life. Now you must continue the devotional service. So please, I preached to her about the soul, about reincarnation, about devotional service, Krishna, to both of them. So I gave them some book, and they got japas, and they start coming to the temple, start chanting. Became devotees. So I thought, wow, it's real. Reincarnation is real. It's not fantasy. It happens. So in this process, Krishna tells that there is no loss or diminution. Even if somebody doesn't finish in one life, Krishna gave another opportunity to finish in the next life. Prabhupada said, even if you come to the 70%, Lord Chaitanya will put the other 30%. So there is hope. We can make it this very life, isn't it? It is possible or not possible? It is possible. Yes, we should try our best. Krishna will help. Undoubtedly. Okay, let's finish the last verse. The last verse is 15, isn't it?
Yes, Bharat.
Okay, let's read it. Ready?
Yes, Bharat.
Samam smritim brigade bibira Krishnarchana prabhava no jahati Ato am jana sangada sango Vishankamano vibritascharami. My dear heroic king, due to my past sincere service to the Lord, I could remember everything of my past life, even while in the body of a deer. Because I am aware of the fall down in my past life, I always keep myself separate from the association of ordinary men. Being afraid of their bad materialistic association, I wander alone unnoticed by others. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita it is said, Swalpam piyasya das dharmasya Bhagavad 240. And it is certainly a great fall to go from human life to animal life. But in the case of Bharat Maharaj or any devotee, devotional service to the Lord, it never goes in vain. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 8:6, Yam Yam Papi Smaram Bhavam Tejate Hate Kalivaram. At the time of death, by nature's law, the mind is absorbed in a certain type of thinking. This may lead one to animal life, yet for a devotee there is no loss. Even though Bharat Maharaj received the body of the deer, he didn't forget his position. Consequently, in the body of the deer, he was very careful to remember the cause of his fall down. As a result, he was given a chance to be born in the Brahmin family of very pure Brahmanas. Thus, service to the Lord never went in vain. So enlightening the story of Maharaj Bharat. Very enlightening. Give us a lot of hope. That it is possible. It may take few lives, but we've been as Nityavada. We don't know for how long we've been conditioned in this material world, for millions of lives. Now in this human life, we were able to come to Krishna consciousnness. It's a great opportunity, a golden opportunity we were given. So now we should not misuse it. We should try to get the best use of it, make the most advancement we can in this life. Every day. If you have a big, huge jar and you need to fill it with water, but only one drop at a time. You have to be very patient because one day it will be filled up. But you have to be patient. Don't lose enthusiasm. Have faith. It will be filled up. It's just a question of endeavoring, not giving up. So this is the challenge with Krishna consciousness. No matter what happens, never give up Krishna consciousness. Never become disheartened with the spirit because of bad things happen, this or that. Never. Material nature will go on. We were walking with Prabhupada in the park in South America. One devotee asked, Prabhupada, what will happen to the world in the future? Kali Yuga is advancing. What is going to happen? Prabhupada said, don't worry what is going to happen. People will continue doing their simple activity. They will suffer the reaction. Don't worry so much about it. Worry about your spiritual life. You have very few years to live. Well, whatever, 50, 60 years to live more, maybe less. Make best use of it and go back home, back to Godhead. Material nature will take care of the events in the future. Don't worry so much about that. What will happen? It will go on with you or without. So now, if you have questions, please do. Yes.
Maharaj, just when you said that you were remembering the pastimes of the Lord and you had one pastime which you didn't know.
Yeah.
Can you just tell that pastime?
You want to know that, Pastor? Well, that pastime actually is It's in relation to Krishna and the peacocks, Krishna was playing the flute, and suddenly peacocks came to dance, with Krishna. And they danced so beautifully. Krishna was so happy. Krishna was playing the flute so blissfully that Krishna started dancing along with the peacocks, And when Krishna finished the dancing, one of the peacocks came and dropped the most beautiful peacock feather at his feet. Krishna put on his head. That was, I didn't know at that time that was. I did it later.
Thank you.
Yes.
The importance of a guru is very much stressed. However, why did Bharat decide to keep himself instead of taking a spiritual guru?
Well, I mean, it's not mentioned specifically, but obviously he had guru. Otherwise, how we can preach about gurus not having himself a guru? Obviously, he accepted guru. It is not mentioned. Sometimes Bhagavatam doesn't mention each and every detail of the life of the devotee. It's taken for granted. Of course, they have. Obviously, otherwise, how you can preach about having guru to himself as a guru? I remember before I came to my consciousness, I used to read many books. One of the philosophers I used to read was named Krishnamurti. And he was a personalist, and one of his books I read, he was saying, you don't need guru, you be your own guru. And I thought, by saying that, he wants to teach me something, so he's acting like a guru. But he's saying, don't get guru, so I don't get this book anymore. So, contradiction, full of contradiction.
Also, may I add something?
Please.
So, I mean, to answer Archu's question, he was an exceptional case in Bharat, right? I mean, how many of us remember 3 lives, and how many of us have done the pious activities that Maharaj Bharat did, right? So, and Paramatma was guiding him all along, right? And by reminding him of his past lives and, keeping him on track. So, Paramatma was his guru always.
Chaita Guru. That's the Chaita Guru, Guru on the heart. And of course, externally also we need Guru, not only the Chaita Guru may come inspiring us, both things are important. I'm sure Bharat had Guru, no doubt. But it was mentioned specifically. That doesn't mean he didn't have, but he didn't have, for sure. Yes, anybody else have any? Yes, sir.
Thank you for sharing your story about the Indian couple. That's very, very interesting. Really, I just have one question, which is like if Krishna really wants us to go to him, why does Krishna not have us all remember our previous birth? Would it be better if we remember it, and we should be able to say, you know what, yeah, I have to continue from the same spot, right? What is the reason why we are not?
Yes, very good question. The question is why Krishna doesn't allow us to remember our past lives, so we want to continue in this life, or spiritual life. We can know if we are attracted naturally to Krishna consciousness. That means we are, generally speaking, we are continuing from past life, So that's an indication that in past life we have connection Krishna consciousness, some percentage. So there's no need for everyone to remember their past life. It's no need. Actually, this is Krishna's arrangement that majority people forget their past life. Why? So they will start afresh, If you remember all the mistakes you did in the past life, you would like this. You would be depressed, All the bad things I did. So Krishna makes a clean slot, you forget your past life, start anew, There are exceptions, of course. Bharata remembered his past life. Great devotee, they can do that. Even Narad Muni was telling his disciple, Vyasadeva, his past life. Remember from other birth, But he was in Gandharva, another planet. He was singing songs. like that. So he remembered all these things. So we don't need to remember all these things. Why we don't need it? Because it's not, no, we don't need to know.
It gives us template, so we are not.
By getting now the philosophy, we know, you already know your past life was there and had some connection with Krishna consciousness. Now we are continuing. That's good enough to know. We don't need to remember every single detail of it. There are exceptions. Some people remember. Krishna wants them for some reason. But doesn't need everyone to do it. After all, some people get confused with reincarnation. Ordinary people, they start become curious about that, and they went to have what we call hypnotized, to be hypnotized and to remember the past time. Some of them do remember the past life, and one psychologist in the hospital in Miami became famous because he discovered one lady was coming to him for help. She was having fear of water. Even taking shower was a problem. What to speak going to the pool? Frightened, just as she was. So she went to him for asking for help. And he tried the regular methods, to see if she was having some problem in childhood or something, nothing. So for 6 months he treated her, nothing happened, no improvement. So he was desperate for how to help. And then he hypnotized her and asked her, go back to the moment where you had this problem, phobia to water. And she was talking about living in an island in Greece, and the volcano erupted and the ocean covered the island and she drowned in the water. That's why she had it. Well, and then she got cured because she knew what was the reason of her phobia to water. So he was able to help. And the men started believing in reincarnation. So he started writing books and telling, those kind of things. This is real. But helping is material. But the spiritual life, you don't need any of this thing. Some friends, they did also this, and they found out that in their previous life, they were working in the mine in Minnesota. So they went there and found their own picture from past lives. See, we are here, same friends. So not enough to know I am this body. Now we know I was another body. Understand? Instead of becoming detached from the material identification of the body, now it's more. I have two bodies. I have that body and also this body. So understand, if there is no Krishna consciousness, even that can be confusing to people. It's only curiosity. I saw once TV, they were interviewing people, asking them if there is incarnation, what you would like to be next time. And ordinary people, on the street. Oh, I would like to be eagle, fly high in the sky. Oh, I want to be white horse running forest, like that. The people don't know, but they don't have no idea. These are 12 animal bodies. It's all they have no idea. They're confused. So just to know about reincarnation is not enough. We need to know more about the soul relationship with God, with Krishna, and how to get out of the reincarnation. The cycle, repeated cycle, but the idea is to get out, not to remain there forever. People think like that reincarnation means forever. It's not like that. Prabhupada said, imagine if a king, he died, think of an animal, is born an animal. Imagine if in the body of animal, he will remember that he was a king, he would be very depressed. In the case of Bharat Maharaj, he was taking advantage, even in body of deer, go to associate with sadhus and meet from them Harikatha, even in the body of deer. It's a different story. But for example, you may have done very bad thing in past life, and just like you remember that, you will be in a mental, suffering, mental anxiety, because I did this wrong. So Krishna makes you forget. Start afresh, in this life. Don't worry about what the past. Krishna said, Sarva Dharma Paritya Jamune Do not fear, I will protect you from all your past karma. Just surrender. Don't worry about the past. What is important, surrender to Krishna and go on further. Achieve the spiritual growth, spiritual advancement. Thank you so much, everyone. Hare Krishna. Lord Premanandi.
Bhakti Sundar Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Hare Krishna. Everyone. I'm sure you enjoyed this wonderful lesson of Maharaj.